So you were previously spoken to for breaching the coronavirus legislation, but you have continued to ignore the guidance and advice given. So I am now reporting you for the consideration of the question of prosecuting you for the offence of person living in a level 4 area of Wales or outside the place where living without reasonable excuse, namely delivering election leaflets on Sunday the 14th and Monday the 15th of Feb 2021 in Cardiff. So you don't have to say anything from a harming defence. You've not mentioned now, something which later relied in court. Anything you do say may be given evidence.
Well, I'd like to...
Can I just finish off?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, sorry, well, you would say that.
No, I'll finish off and I'll
say so you'll be rated to and offer the opportunity to discharge any liability for conviction for the above offence by payment of a fixed penalty notice. The penalty charge is payable at £60, but reduced to £30 if paid within 14 days. The penalty charge must be paid no later than the last day of the period of 28 days, which begins from the date of your written notice. You will not be liable for conviction for the offence if you pay the fixed penalty during the period of 28 days from the date of your notice. If you decline the option of the fixed penalty, you can request a court hearing. Last bit now. Please be aware that the Welsh Government regulations are in place in an effort to protect the community from the spread of COVID-19, and this action is being taken in an effort to protect the public's health during the current global pandemic. If you decide to breach the coronavirus legislation in future, we will consider taking further action.
Okay, thanks a lot. What I would say is that you're here to get involved in party politics. As I spoke to the Chief Constable the other day, I spoke to the Commissioner as well. So it's no coincidence that shortly after speaking to the Chief Constable and the Police Commissioner and challenging them on their misuse of the law and misapplication of the law, that you're here to issue a notice. I will not be paying. I will go to court, as is my democratic right. What I'd like to do is tell you what I will be relying upon in terms of regulation, because I'm actually carrying out my duties as a politician, and I'll refer you to Alert Level 4, the Health Protection Coronavirus Restrictions number 5, Wales, Regulations 2020, paragraph 1 of Schedule 4, which talks about a reasonable excuse, leaving the place where they are living or remaining away from that place. It says that whilst work and volunteering are deemed reasonable, okay, this is only where there are no other practical alternatives. That's paragraph 1, open bracket 2, close bracket A. And as the South Wales Police have done, let me give you the wording. Which you've actually sent me, because that's the exact legislation that you have relied upon yourselves to deliver leaflets. And as you say, I am delivering. They're not election leaflets. I've already corrected you once on that, several times. They're information leaflets from me as a member of the Senate. And what I am doing, as you guys are doing, I support you in your work, actually, frontline officers, I'm executing my duty as a public servant, as you have been doing as well, under those regulations I just quoted. And this is the key point: reliance on private companies or the postal system would not be operationally effective or a reasonably practical alternative. So therefore, I'm leafleting as a reasonable alternative, and there is a reasonable reason for me to leave the house, because we have an election coming up. I think we've got a really bad government. I don't think we should be in lockdown. Therefore, I think it's reasonable of me to inform the public about what is going on. It's reasonable for me to have my contact details on literature, so when people have problems they can contact me. I'm providing public service there, so it wasn't an election leaflet, it was a political leaflet from me, but it wasn't an election leaflet. And what I'm relying upon there, as the police have relied upon, rightly I would say, is the paragraph 1, schedule 4 of the Health Protection Coronavirus Restrictions number 5, particularly paragraph 1(2)A. So I'm relying upon the same legislation that you are relying upon. The Chief Constable is behaving politically. You're interfering in party politics. There is an election on May the 6th for the Police Commissioner. Our candidate has written to your Chief Constable And if he continues to get involved in party politics, then we will put it to the public that our candidate should actually relieve him of his duties on May the 7th. Because it's unacceptable to have you in here trying to stop me doing my job. I've given you the legislation. I'm not accepting the fine. I'm not accepting the caution.
Okay.
Thanks for listening to me so
No,
politely.
and
I'll see you guys in court.
okay, thank you very much, Neil.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Bye then.
All the best.
Have a good day, okay?
And you, yeah. Cheers, mate. Right. Well.